Hi, it's Dan Bauer here. So I want to talk about a few things in this video. If you get value from it, if you learn anything from it, if you get a different perspective or anything like that, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. And if you really, really like it, if you would share it to somebody you know. Anyways, basically in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about Tesla and a little bit about ELF and maybe some other things and what I think, I see going on and a few things. But one thing I want to talk about here is Tesla. All right, we'll throw the RSI up under here. One thing I want to talk about here is Tesla. Let's see if I can draw. Let's see what I got. Let's see. I want to add. Well, anyways. All right, so something I see here on Tesla and why I bought some shares in the scrap account here. I have about 12 shares. We got about 12 shares total. But I started buying in this area. I bought a little bit in this area before. I didn't really buy up here too very much. But down here in this dip when the RSI went down below 30. And then back when it came down below 30 again, I bought some more. Here's what we got to think about here. Tesla has been having, a tough last couple of years. Their growth is slowing, a few things are happening. Really, it's because the price cuts that they've been having to do to compete in the market. And also because of rates going up to be competitive in the market, they've dropped prices so that way they can still, here we go. Nope. I don't know. They can still be super competitive and gobble up a ton of market share, which is exactly what is happening. You got Ford and Ford and who was it? VW and GM kind of pulling back while Tesla's like rearing forward. This is going to put them in a position of strength here. The Fed has already stated that they're going to cut some rates. Now, I'm not saying as soon as they cut rates, Tesla's going up, but it is a rate-sensitive name and it is a rate-sensitive stock and company. But we have to think about it like this. So they've been getting crushed. They still haven't even got back here, in August of 2022. They barely made it up to here, a few times, but they haven't even got back to this where it was in August 2022. So, I think, where are we at? Yeah, the July and August of 2022 into September of 2022, right? So now we're here. We're, on $193 a share here, right? If we can think about it like this, they're going to start ramping the Cybertruck this whole entire year. Eventually, rates are going to go back down. We don't know how far. I'm assuming, at the very least, we can assume that 75 basis points because they're probably, the lowest they can cut is 25 apiece, and they said they're going to do 3. So we can assume that the Fed is just going to tell the truth and they're going to do 3 rate cuts. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't have a crystal ball. Nobody does. Nobody really knows exactly what the Fed's going to do unless you're a Fed chair member. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, we have to understand something about Tesla. Tesla's working really, really hard, as they always have, to be the best in their space, right? And yeah, there's a lot of competition in China, but we have to understand that India does not like China. Not at all. India is home to the largest population in the world of any country, right? Okay, so we have 2 things down here. They don't like fucking China, and they have the largest population. And guess who's getting into the India market? Tesla. Tesla is getting into the India market. What does that say to me? That says that there's a whole untapped market there that Tesla's going to be able to get into, which I think is absolutely amazing, right? And so if we look at the end of the year, where do you think it's going? I mean, obviously right here in this little area where it went down, it dropped to 175. It had dropped to 180 and 175 here, and it's bounced since, right? It bounced right off of 175. In a couple of days, it's up to 193, right? So it went oversold here. Every time we saw a dip below the RSI from basically like right here, below the 30 on the RSI, every time was a pretty good buying opportunity, except maybe, right here and, right in here. But even then, you're right about the price right here, right? What are we at here? 170, 180. The highest point was 190. So you're still in a good buying price. Now, this was an incredible buying opportunity. It's still a good buying opportunity here, even here, and here. Every time it dipped with the RSI down around or below 30, you got a pretty significant size bounce, except for right here where you didn't really have a significant size bounce, which is all right. That's fine. You know what I mean? That's okay. But if you had bought every dip and averaged in, at some point in time here in the near future, we're probably going to see Tesla up here because they're just doing what they're doing. I mean, we have optimists they're working on. We can't be for sure that robo-taxis are going to be a thing, but we can't be for sure that they're well ahead of everybody in full self-driving. Now we know Elon's getting attacked. All right, for the things he's not part of the establishment of what they want, and so they're attacking him. That's okay, sure, fine, but does that matter to the consumer that they're buying the best electric vehicle? No, it doesn't matter. They're gonna buy Teslas because they're the best EV out there. If they want an EV, and a lot of people seem to want EVs, one, because gas prices are high, they've been staying high, and my guess is that they'll continue to stay high. All right. And so people are going to choose an EV, especially in southern regions of this country, of the U.S., because it's nice and warm. So they'll get a good charge, and their charge will hold. Now, in the northern states, not so much, but I personally am seeing more and more Teslas on the road all over the place. What does that say to me? It says, guess who is the only qualified company to service Teslas? Tesla. The more and more cars they put out on the road, the more and more cars they're going to need servicing over time, right? The more and more Tesla's going to make on their services. One. And two, we have to look at it like this. People are, gonna adopt a Cybertruck. They're gonna be able to sell every single one. And when they get it ramped, and it's not such a drag on margins, which for right now it's gonna be a drag on margins. It just is while they ramp, But we also have to think about this. Something that I don't think a lot of people are really talking about, but Elon brought it up on the last earnings call where he talked about they're making transformative manufacturing technology. Next level type stuff, right? Nobody else has that except Tesla. And they're working on that. You think they aren't going to, develop a way to sell this to other manufacturing companies, whether it be cars, but most importantly cars? You think they can't figure out how to utilize those for other things? Utilize those machines for other things? And this Optimus thing, I believe that's going to happen. I believe it's going to happen because they're putting a lot of work in on it, and it's advancing. I wouldn't say extremely fast, but relatively quickly. All right, and so I'll be a buyer of Tesla anytime it dips like this in this account, because I'm looking. Not for the short-term pleasure of a good pop off of the low on the RSI. That's just a good spot to be a buyer. You know what I mean? That's a good spot to put your average in. I mean, would you buy up here when it's freaking, where was it there? Yeah, 270, 260 bucks. And the RSI is what? At 92? You know what I'm saying? That's where it was back here. It was at 92. Or is it a better idea to buy in the massive dips? It's always a better idea to buy the massive dips. It gives you a better risk to reward profile. All right. Now I want to talk about ELF too. Let's go. ELF. All right. Let's be honest. It's skyrocketing. It is certainly skyrocketing. Now it hit after hours in the pre-market the other day after earnings. $190 some dollars. I know it says the high is 174 here. This is on the daily chart, and it's not going to pick up what happened in pre-market or after hours. But that's fine. That's okay. All right. Now, yeah, it's really high. But we have to understand that this company, I'll pull up. Let's go to their income statement. All right, so let's take a look here. So their net income in Q3 2023, fiscal year 2023. This is going to be fiscal year. Was 207% increase. Was a 207.4% increase to 19.11 million. And then their net income was a 944% year-over-year increase for Q4 2023. Now, their Q1 2024 was a 266% increase to 52.98 million. And then another 184% in Q2 2024 and another 40%. But I think it went down in percentage-wise and profits because they're pouring a lot into their marketing. They're trying to expand how much market they have. They're trying to expand on the market. They're trying to grow their market position, and so they've been working on advertising, which I don't think is a problem, especially when we notice. Look, this is the last 5 quarters here, okay, and we have 49% growth, 78% growth, 76, 76, and 84% growth on ELF's total revenue. And I think they're only set to grow more. I think they're going to – here's what we have to understand. That right now times are tough. They just are. Whether you believe me or not, there are people out there struggling and hurting. They're everywhere, right? And so at this moment in time, ELF is coming in and their makeup is still pretty quality makeup and it's cheaper than everybody else's. So we have to understand that the consumer is going to go for the cheaper makeup in harder times. But if it was trash, I don't think they would be getting up and picking up as many customers as they have. But I ask a lot of females that I see around, women I see around, what kind of makeup do you use? Have you used ELF before? And a lot of them talk about how they used ELF or use ELF currently, right? And we have to understand that they're going to continue to pick up market share as inflation has killed the consumer in a way to where, your higher end makeup brands, they can't compete because how can they compete when they're selling their makeup for 3 times, 4 times as much as ELF is? Right? How can they compete? Especially if their quality isn't that much more quality than ELF. Now, in some aspects, I'm sure ELF doesn't have as good of products as I heard from, a few girls as some of the super expensive stuff, but it's also 4 times less expensive. That makes it the buy. Especially when you don't have a lot of money. You have to think about it like that. And in this way, they're branding and they're increasing market share, but also they have pricing power. So if later on in the future, after they grab up more market share, they were talking about how they, since 2019, went from 4.5% market share to 10%. And then in the earnings call, they said that they think over the next few years that they can double their market share again. That would be freaking insane, right? So my thoughts on this is, and I'll take a look at their balance sheet for us anyways too. But my thought process is that the company is in a good position cash-wise. Total current assets, $454 million. Cash and cash equivalents, $72.71 million. All right. Now, they do have a little more debt. They have $264 million in total debt. Let's see here. Accounts payable. Their total current liabilities are $302 million. So they have a little bit less liabilities than they have assets. Total. Their long-term debt is 164 million, and their accrued expenses, so they can pay off what they got at this moment in time. I don't know, and I should look at when their debt is due, but I'm with the amount of revenue they're pulling in and how great they've been doing. I think they're okay. They're in a pretty good financial position here, as they've been gobbling up market share. I see, as they see, that they're going to continue to gobble up market share over time. I want to go to investor relations page here, and we'll just slide on here, and we'll go here. All right. And I'm just going to look up. So they're basically saying our persona, who we are, our persona, a bold disruptor with a kind heart, fearless and heartful. Their brands. Okay, all right. So they've got the lip gloss. And part of the earnings call showed about how some woman really talked about how she liked how much more hydrative their lip gloss was and how shiny it was and how much she liked that. They do lips, face, and eyes. They do skin. I'm not sure what well is. I'm not a makeup person because I'm a guy. You know what I'm saying? But we'll just check it out. We'll check out their well stuff. I want to read about it. I'm just going to take you through how I would do some research. So clean beauty powered by plants. A clean beauty pioneer since 2008 with 100 plus EWG verified products. We believe all people can do well, or we believe all people can be well people. All right. One thing I want to say about this is if they have staying power and they have a lot of women who buy their products because what's their brand focused towards? Women, right? We have to understand here that women spend money. I like to say this is one of my favorite phrases. Men talk about making money and women talk about spending money. And what do women spend the money on? To look pretty. Tell me you don't go to work. Now, I work at UPS, so, the women don't really wear makeup, but some do still. Some of the supervisors still do wear makeup. They do, no doubt. But like at an office, women are wearing makeup. If you go to like a store and you go shopping, most women are wearing makeup. You go around a store, most women are wearing makeup. If they really do double their market share over the next couple of years, like they say, think about how much revenue and net profits that's going to bring to the company, in the future. It's going to be huge. All right. Let's see. Super clean, super natural. We've raised the standard for high performance plant powered cosmetics. Always clean, vegan, cruelty free, and fair trade certified. Let's read about this. This is kind of how you want to this is a different, I guess they're selling well people through their brand. Beauty grown inside and out. See, we're learning something right now. All right. This is just what I want to do. We've been making award-winning beauty from premium plant-powered ingredients long before it was cool. Formulas that give skin a glowing, healthy look and respect the planet. Okay? Who doesn't want to respect the planet, right? Okay, all right. That's that's something dumb to say, but you know what I mean. Most people are good people and they want to take care of the planet we live on because guess what? We wouldn't have life if it weren't for this planet, right? So they're plant powered. We believe that less is always more. That's why we use only the cleanest ingredients, ethically sourced and renewable botanicals. Think green tea, turmeric, pomegranate, rosehip, and broccoli seed oil. Make for revitalizing cosmetics that nourish and soothe. All right, let's learn a little more about this. High performance. Beauty that is award-winning, artistry proven, and dermatologist approved. Potent multitasking products that put your skin first. Brightening and hydrating for long-lasting comfort and radiance. super clean. As beauty, or super clean. As clean beauty pioneers, our 35 plus and growing EWG verified products demonstrate our commitment to the highest ingredient health and safety standards, guaranteed clean and cruelty free. We're on a mission to be accessible to all, ensuring more people have the ability to choose clean and be well. And that's their clean commitment. All right, let's go back to Elf. Oops. There we go. All right, and so generally speaking, let's just go ahead and put it like this. At Target, Elf is like the biggest brand on the shelves. They got the most shelf space. And they were talking about how they were moving into Canada and stores into Canada and grabbing more shelf space there. In the earnings call, they were also talking about how they're going to get more shelf space in CVS, and in Walmart. And, they're going to be in so many more stores. And they're underpenetrated on the international market, in my opinion. They just aren't, like Estee Lauder has, everywhere, right? I think Elf is going to do that. I think Elf is going to cut a ton into Estee Lauder's market. And in the long run, I think that they're just going to kill it. But if you made it this far, please hit the like and subscribe. I'm going to do more research and more videos, listen to more earnings calls. I think that's very, very important. And I'm going to work harder and do better research. Please like and subscribe. And, by the way, I'm not a licensed financial advisor, and this is not financial advice of any kind. This video is for informational, educational, and entertainment purposes only. Please stay tuned, and thanks for being a part of the journey.